Hi everyone, welcome to your latest planning outlook updated on Monday the 9th of March. It's a very familiar weather story with chilly westerly winds bringing weather systems in from the Atlantic, frequent precipitation, that increasingly of snow and hail once again as temperatures and freezing levels fall through the middle of this week. Friday looks to be your best day as a ridge of high pressure builds temporarily, but it looks as though low pressure is once again on the scene through the weekend with some rather unsettled conditions looking likely. Let's see how things play out in terms of temperatures first of all. This is the 850 millibar level, which corresponds to around 1200 to 1300 metres at this point in time. This through Tuesday. We've got a cold front sinking southwards, and that will introduce lowering temperatures as the day goes on, with freezing levels down to say around 800 metres or even below in northwest Scotland through the latter part of the day. Generally, temperatures and freezing levels tending to lower a bit further through the course of Wednesday, with most mountains then sub-zero by this stage, and particularly onwards into Thursday, some much colder air extending right the way across the country, with terrain frozen to lower slopes, at least early in the day. Bit of a lift of freezing level during the daytime, but we may well see temperatures around -5 or so on the highest tops, Ben Nevis and the Cairngorms, through the middle of Thursday daytime. Into Friday, and that cold air stays in place on a west or a northwesterly flow, but a ridge of higher pressure is trying to get in at that stage. Then into the weekend, staying generally on the chilly side, temperatures may just come up a touch compared to the middle of the week, but hovering around or just below freezing point on most higher mountains, maybe just temporarily a little bit above freezing on the tops in England and Wales. But that's the chart, say, through into Sunday, and still the idea of cold air coming down from the north, and that around into early next week as well. In terms of ongoing snow accumulations, this starting off with early Tuesday, with just the highlands really showing up here on the modelling. If we run on over a few days, you'll see how snow once again starts to become more widespread as those temperatures drop. The model can pick it up more extensively across the highlands through Wednesday, starting to develop a bit more widely into northern England and Wales for Thursday, as those temperatures and freezing levels have dropped by that stage. Towards the end of the week then, it's fairly extensive once again, of fresh lying snow across the highlands, the west and the northwest in particular, and even onwards into the weekend, that staying very much in place, just the model losing a little bit of it with time, as temperatures, at least lower down on the mountains, do just tend to lift, so freezing levels lifting a touch through the weekend. Charts for the next few days looking like this, and this is Tuesday, low pressure towards the north, a bit of a tangle of cold fronts passing southwards with areas of rain and low cloud, tending to clear and break up a little bit into showers across England and Wales after a pretty wet start. Some heavy rain will have occurred overnight, so some flooding and very wet terrain in the picture once again. Showers coming in across Scotland, increasingly of snow and hail coming in to the west. Will merge almost into constant snow and hail at times, less of that toward the eastern side of the highlands, and winds westerly pretty much up to gale force most of the day, gusting severe gale force at times, generally strongest across England and Wales. Cold west by southwesterlies then into Wednesday. We're all in that chillier air, some showers coming in again frequently to western hills, particularly in Scotland, where they'll fall widely as snow and hail. Some snow on the highest tops in Wales and northern England as well, and once again fewer showers toward the east, and it stays a windy day with gales widespread on the mountains. Thursday's a complicated one in terms of the detail, low pressure toward the north and another secondary low coming in from the west. Now that, if that moves in, may well give some more extensive snowfalls across the hills. At this stage looking more likely to be showers, but those could still merge together into some longer periods of snow and some hail at times across western mountains. Watch your details then. Again, expect it to be a rather poor day. Strong winds, gale force widely on the mountains, whiteout conditions with that blowing snow and hail very much in the picture. Friday looks to be your day though for a better day. Low pressure moving away eastwards, a brief ridge of high pressure before the next weather systems are ganging up over the Atlantic, so winds tending to drop, a brief lull in those strongest winds, one or two residual showers for a time, those fading away, and some sunshine and cloud breaks should be around. All goes downhill again into the weekend. The precise detail uncertain, but another set of fronts looks likely to come steaming in off the Atlantic. Bit of a warm sector across England and Wales will lift those temperatures somewhat. It stays chilly though across most Scottish mountains. So areas of rain, sleet and hill snow in the forecast, the snow typically more confined to the Scottish mountains compared to England and Wales. Quick look at Sunday again, tricky with detail, but a cold front likely to sink away south eastwards, leaving once again a chilly, showery west by northwesterly flow. So it's that centre of low pressure that moves through again this weekend. That's looking as though it moves away eastwards early next week, and indications coming around to the idea of higher pressure starting to nose its way in from the Atlantic. Now, it looks as though this might happen a bit sooner than this if you've been watching the forecasts over recent weeks, but that signal is a bit stronger this time, I suppose, to get the high to build. It wants to send it a bit further towards Scandinavia as well on this particular model into the middle of next week, sending low pressure more toward the western Mediterranean. It may be there's still some fronts to graze northern Scotland as a southwesterly wind gets in there. We need to just watch the detail in terms of where that high finally centres itself. I think generally looking at a quieter week of weather compared to this week, with lighter winds, more in the way of dry weather and some sunshine. Could get into some inversion conditions in places with some morning fog at low levels, but cloud tending to break up a bit more readily than in recent times. So some optimism for something a bit better. Temperatures likely with time to rise above freezing even on the higher tops. So some optimism for some quieter weather on the horizon. Stay up to date though with your local forecasts for the days ahead every day, of course, on our website. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.